So don't feel shy. No reason to feel shy. Um, so I'll tell you what. Once we get through the introduction and I explain what we're going to work on, maybe you can click your video on for me, okay? Think you can do that?
Let's go with that.
Yeah, I think that'll work.
He doesn't want to do it all anymore.
Then tell her to listen. Work on her vocal skills.
Yeah, tell her to listen. Tell her to listen in, and I'll work with people as they come in. Maybe she'll change her mind as we go along. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. So, Lyric, how are you doing?
Good.
Still with us? Good?
Yeah.
All right. And how old are you, Lyric?
I'm 11.
You're 11. Okay, great.
But
and
I
so,
turn 12 next week.
Oh, okay. That's really important. I understand. So, well, happy birthday in advance. Maybe we'll sing happy birthday at the end.
Thank you.
So how long have you been singing, Lyric?
I mean, I don't sing. I play clarinet. My mother said this will help, I guess. So
sure it will.
I'm here.
All right. Well, that's wonderful. Do you at least sing like in the shower? Do you sing when you're by yourself? You sing to your favorite songs?
I hum. That's what I do.
You hum. All right. Well, then today the goal is to move from a hum to at least getting the mouth to open to create some sound. All right.
Okay.
I think we can do that. And because you're already a musician, I'm sure that you'll get more comfortable as time goes on. Okay.
Okay.
So just a quick 30 seconds about me. So I've been singing for longer than you've been alive. I've been singing since I was about 9 years old, and I've had some informal training, meaning that I learned in places like the church, and I learned in places like being around older musicians who helped guide me. And then I also did some studying. And so I've been really, really fortunate to be able to sing with a lot of great people in my career. And so I'm going to share some of those things with you today, both Skylar and Lyric, as Skylar's listening in, okay? So what we're going to work on today is, first of all, a little bit about posture. We're going to work on some breathing. We're going to work on some ear training. So I'm sitting out here at the edge of a forest, visiting family, and I decided to do it here because I won't bother anybody when I'm making my own sound, okay? But you're in the comfort of your home, so we're going to work on some breathing. We're going to work on some ear training. We're going to work on thinking about style. We're going to work on diction, which is pronunciation, okay? Just basic things to get us started on our path. And since you play the clarinet, what I'd like you to do is think about the fact that you actually do sing. You just sing with an instrument in your mouth, but your voice is an instrument. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to take care of your instrument too, okay? So you're already a singer because you play melodies with your clarinet. Now you can think about taking those melodies from your clarinet and transferring them into your own voice, your physical body, okay? So let's start by doing this, if we could. Can you stand up for me? Just stand up a little bit. Oh, I can't hear you. You got to unmute your mic for me. Okay. There we go. All right.
All right.
So we're standing up because what we want to do is we want to start right away with establishing how we should be standing. Obviously, you can sing while you're sitting down, but while we're developing, right, we want to think about posture, so stance. So I'd like you to stand with your feet just about shoulder width apart. Okay.
Spread your feet.
Yep.
Your feet. Not the other way. Spread like this.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, you're right there. That's good. Perfect. So if your feet are just about even with your shoulders, okay? And you want to make sure you don't lock your knees. So just make sure your knees are relaxed, almost so that you can move, so that you could shake your hips and your knees. They should be that loose, okay? If we lock our knees up, we actually cut the flow of blood in our body. We cut the flow of blood and we can pass out. We don't want that. Okay? So what I'd like you to do, we're going to start to loosen up all of this where the vocal mechanism is. So I'd like you just to start by just letting your head hang for a minute. Yep. You just drop your hands at your side.
You don't want to do it?
Wonderful. All right. Now, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to move your left ear over towards your left shoulder. And then let your head roll right ear to the right shoulder. And then back again. Make sure your head dips low so that you actually stretch the neck a little bit. Okay? And then raise your shoulder up so that your ear touches. Nice. And same thing to the other side. Okay? Good. Now, just give me some front shoulder rolls. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll your shoulder. So if you look at my shoulder, it's going to roll. You make the roll big, okay? We're loosening up the shoulder because the shoulder, if the shoulders are tense, then there's tension in the neck and there's tension in the chest. We can't have tension in any of that area of the body as we sing. Okay? And backwards. And then do it with the other shoulder. Push it forward. And roll it back. Good. All right. How does that feel?
Good.
Feel all right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to start you with a breathing exercise. I'm going to give you 2 breathing exercises that you can do at home. The first breathing exercise that we're going to work on is just to get us used to the idea of really thinking about our breathing. Okay? So, we're going to inhale through our nose for 4 counts. Then we're going to exhale through our mouth for 4 counts. We're going to inhale through our nose for 8 counts. We're going to exhale through our mouth for 8 counts. Then for 12. Okay? And we'll see if we can make it up to 16, but 12 is the goal. Okay? We'll see if we can go further. So, Relax your shoulders. Let your shoulders drop. Let your hands drop to your side. Good. Now, as you inhale through your nose, think about your stomach like a balloon. So the stomach will expand, just like a balloon when you fill it up with air. Okay? All right. So here we go. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Now out through the mouth. Breathe in. We're going up to 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now breathe out through the mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And breathe in. And we're going to go up to 12 this time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and breathe out. Okay, good. Now, a couple of things. When you're breathing in, when you're inhaling, I want you to think about having a ruler, right? So we're going to have a ruler that's 12 inches long, right? Just one 12-inch ruler, a small ruler. When we breathe in for 4, each breath is like an inch. And when we breathe out, each breath out is like an inch. So if we go to 4, it's only 4 inches. We go to 8, it's 8 inches. When we go up to 12, we're going the whole length of the ruler. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So let's try it. Let's try it again. Thank you. Yeah. Yep. I'm definitely going to need a verbal response so that I can hear you. Okay. So hands at your side. Hands at your side. Yep. Relax your hands. Relax your shoulders. Everything is relaxed. One of the most important things that we can do when we're singing is relax. If there's tension in any part of the body, if we're tight in any part of the body, it's going to make it harder for us to actually sing the way that we want to sing, okay? Regardless of how we want to sing. And that's the same for all styles of music. It doesn't matter what style of music, whether it's R&B or soul or gospel or jazz or opera, doesn't really matter. Relaxation. Everything has to be relaxed. Okay? So, blow all your air out for me. Now, inhale for 4. 1, 2, 3. Put your hands at your side, please. 4. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now, inhaling for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And exhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure it seems like you have a straw. And 8. Now let's inhale for 12. 1, 2, hands at your side, please. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now exhaling. Okay, good. So how does that feel?
Good.
Yeah? What's the hardest thing for you about that exercise?
Well, not being really used to doing in bands, so I'm kind of used to that.
Okay. Do you do breathing exercises like that when you play clarinet?
Yeah.
Good, good. Okay, excellent. And Skylar, are you still with us? Oh, maybe she's not with us. I just wanted to check in and see. All right.
She's listening. She's listening.
Okay, good.
She's still
Well,
deciding if she even wants to do it.
please feel free to join and follow along with the exercises, okay, Skylar? And if you have any questions, you can ask, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful. All right. So now, the reason that we're doing these breathing exercises is because we have to train the vocal mechanism, all of the moving parts in the voice. We have to train the body how to use the air. Breathing is a natural thing, but sometimes when we sing, we do things that feel a little unnatural if we're not used to them. So controlling the way that we breathe, controlling the flow of air in order to change our volume to be louder or softer, to change the tone, meaning the way that the voice sounds. We do that all with breath. So these breathing exercises help us to start to begin to feel what singing is like. We're feeling singing versus thinking about singing. Okay. So the next breathing exercise that we're going to do is kind of similar to the one we just did, except this time we're going to inhale. Then there's going to be a hold. We're going to hold our breath for a certain amount of counts, and then we're going to exhale. So this breathing exercise is to help our diaphragm, which is about here, right? So it's just over the belly button. That's where our diaphragm is. And our diaphragm normally rises and falls all the time when we breathe, because breathing is involuntary. We breathe naturally. We have to survive. But when we practice singing, sometimes we have to do some things that force the muscles in our body to do things that are voluntary. We have to train the body to volunteer to do some of the things that we're doing in order to create our sound. So what we're going to do is we're going to inhale here for 8 counts. We're going to hold our breath for 10 counts, and we're going to exhale for 10 counts. So we're going to inhale through our nose like this. Then hold for 10. And exhale for 10. Okay. So let's try that. You ready to try that, Lyric?
Yes.
Okay, good. So here we go. Relaxing our body, hands at our side. And I'm wondering if I can. Hold on a second. There we go. So D, if you're running from where you are, if you could just flip me over to Lyric's screen, just because I'm not able to do it on my device. Just flip me over so I can see her. That would be helpful. Because I'm kind of frozen on Sarah's screen, so I want to be able to see Lyric. All right, so now relaxing your body, dropping your shoulders, Lyric, like we talked about earlier. And then hands at your side. I'll probably keep bugging you about that for the rest of the evening. That's very important though. And I'll explain why after we do the breathing exercise. So remember, we're going to inhale through our nose for 8 counts, hold for 10 counts, and exhale, breathing out for 10 counts. And when we breathe out, we want to drop our jaw, just like we have a straw in our mouth. Okay? So here we go. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and holding for 10 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and exhaling slowly. 2, 3, 4, like we have a straw in our mouth. 7, 8, 9, 10. How did that feel, Lyric?
Great.
I'm sorry?
Awesome.
Felt good? All right. Can you do me a favor? Flip on your computer or your phone, if you could just kind of hit the space bar or something, because I'm not seeing you. You're not coming up visually on my screen. So I just want to be able to see you while we're doing the exercises, okay? There we go. Excellent. Yeah, sometimes the screen locks out and then we don't realize it. All right, perfect. Let's do that one more time. Okay, so relaxing the shoulders, legs are straight, knees are relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. And so here we go. Inhaling for 8. 1, 2, through the nose. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And holding. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And exhaling. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Wonderful. All right. Now, the reason that I keep bugging you about keeping your hands at your side is because if we pull our shoulders back, so if we have our hands behind our back and they're locked behind our back, which I know a lot of people do because it's comfortable, what we're doing is we pull these muscles that are in the shoulder are attached into the rib cage and they pull the ribs back. And if they pull the ribs back, then the lungs can't expand and contract the way that they are supposed to. So we're constricting or stopping our breathing, okay? So that's why we have to have the shoulders relaxed at all times. All right? Any questions so far?
Nope.
No? All right, good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get into some vocalization. Now, normally, if I'm teaching a vocal lesson, I'm sitting in a studio somewhere next to a piano. So, but because I'm not at home, I'm going to do vocalizations in a different way. We're going to start with very simple 5-note, what's called vocalese, okay? Just 5 notes. So basically the first 5 notes of the major scales. So we're gonna start with ma ha 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 ha. That's it, right? So let's start, because I know you're a hummer. Let's hum first. Can you do that for me?
I can try.
Right. So is the first note. Do that with me. 1, 2, ready, and here we go. Now by yourself. Ready? And. Uh-oh.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
All right. I know it's a little uncomfortable. I know it's a little uncomfortable. Don't worry. So let's start it here. That's your first note. Okay, that's your first note. Let's get this started. So which is a G. Good. So now 5 notes. Just 5 notes. And then we're going to work to open up the mouth after we get comfortable humming it. The G. Okay, good. Right. Now, if I could hear you, though, that'd be great. So can you give me just a little bit more? Okay. Follow me. Sing the note immediately after hum it immediately after I hum it. Good. No. Good. All right. So now that you have those 5 notes, now we're actually going to open up our mouths and we're going to sing the note. Right? So, first rule of singing. Low notes require more air. High notes require faster moving air. Your vocal cords, they sit inside your larynx like 2 little telephone wires. And as the air goes through the voice box, they shake, they vibrate back and forth. Just like you see the telephone wire in a rainstorm, when the telephone wires, the electrical wires are moving like this with the wind. That's what happens, except it looks like this inside your voice box, inside your larynx. Okay? So, low notes require more of our air. High notes require faster moving air. We have to move the air faster to vibrate the vocal cords faster. And as we vibrate the vocal cords faster, we create higher pitches. Okay. I know it sounds a little technical for an introductory class, but I just want you to know how it works. Okay. So now we're going to use our vowel sounds, right? Which are, what are our vowel sounds? What are our vowels?
What? A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y.
Right, but we won't use Y.
We won't use
A, E, I, O, and U. The vowels A, E, I, O, U. Those shapes are what create timbre, or the shape, color of our sound. Okay. So this is about vocal placement as well, right? So where we place our sound. A, E, I, O, U. Right? When people don't properly form their vowel shapes, their vowel sounds, they can actually strain their throat, because as we form our vowel sounds, we're opening up, and opening up allows us to relax the throat. Unlike what it might look like sometimes when you watch some singers sing. When you watch some singers sing, it looks like they're really straining. And even though it sounds really great to our ear, we like what it sounds like because it's full of emotion. Sometimes the singers are hurting their voices because they're not using the voice properly. They're not using the vocal mechanism properly. Okay. And they strain. There should never be any strain. There should never be any tension in the throat, or and only minimal tension in the face. But we start with A, E, I, O, U. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with may, hey, 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 hey. May, hey. I have a mosquito flying around my head. I'm sorry, he's bothering me. May, hey, hey. Okay, so we're using the M to push the vowel sound upward. We hold up the vowel with the consonant, the M. May, hey, 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 hey. Okay, so the same 5 notes that we sang when you were humming so beautifully. Now we're going to sing those 5 notes. Okay, so can you do this with me? Hands at your side. Same posture that I explained to you before. We're going to inhale through the nose, and what we'll do is the same thing we did before. I'll sing a note, you repeat the note after me. Okay? So that you get used to the form of the exercise. And then we're going to continue to descend. We're going to go down. And I'll explain why after. So, take a nice deep breath and may, may, may,
May,
may,
May,
may,
May,
may,
May,
may,
May,
may,
May,
may. Good.
May,
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 may, Now, can you put the whole exercise together for me? May. Can you do that whole exercise for me? That whole 10 notes?
May. Did you do that right?
Almost. No, what happened was your third note, the third note was kind of out of tune. So, May.
May.
Yep, you're good going up. You're good ascending, but coming back down. Here's what happens. May, hey, 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 hey. What happens is when you're coming down, when you start to descend, the first note that you sing on the descending part, the part going down, is a little out of tune. And then because that note is out of tune, the note after that is a little bit out of tune, right? And then the note after that. So do you have something to write with around you? Piece of paper and pencil by any chance?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So write these down for me. GABCDCBAG. That's the order. Okay. So what I want you to do you have in your house, do you have in your house a piano or keyboard? So then with your clarinet, okay, what you can do is you can play those notes on your clarinet. Play those notes in order and then sing them back to yourself. Or you can play those notes into your phone and record it, okay? And then use it like a little guide track. So you play, so do 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 do, right? And then you record it onto your phone or onto your computer, and you use it as a guide to sing. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is within the next day when we finish the workshop, I'm going to email a couple of things out to you that I'm going to write out, right? So I'm going to write them out so that you can, how is your, I mean, I know you play the clarinet. Are you comfortable reading basic, if I just write out basic notation for you? Like if I were to write out in quarter notes, say,
Yeah.
GABCDCBAG in quarter notes on the staff, you'd be comfortable to read that? Okay. So I'm going to do a simple set of written out vocal exercises so that you can play them. Or I may actually just send you an audio file of them so you don't even have to worry about it, right? And then that way you'll have it to practice too. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this 5-note scale and we are going to sing it, and I'm going to move us down gradually in half steps. Now, Some people would ask me, why are you going down instead of up? Well, we have to develop the lower part of our register before we can start thinking about developing all of our high notes, right? So just like when you build a house, you don't build the roof first, you build the foundation first. So we build the lower part of the register first. And then once the lower part of the register is strong, then we can build the middle part of the register and then into the upper register. It's a process. Okay. So we're gonna take those same 5 notes, and then I'm gonna move us down in half steps. Okay. So let's do this starting with that same 5 notes, and let's change this time to ma ha 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 ha. So it almost sounds like you're laughing. Okay. Ma, so that we have a nice open, wide sound. Because if our mouths aren't open, the sound just hits the back of our teeth. And when people don't open their mouth, if you don't open your mouth nice and wide, ma ha, as you drop your mouth, the shape of the sound, the shape of the vowel makes our sound very full, makes it big, right? And also it brings it to the front of the mouth. If you have your mouth closed, then you know where the sound goes. If you close your mouth, if you don't open, you know where the sound goes?
Nowhere.
Goes up into the nasal cavity. So then you end up sounding like this when you sing, because you're not opening your mouth. So we want to open our mouth so that when we sing, our sound is big and full and soulful, because we're opening our mouth. Okay? So it's very important that we open our mouth. All right. Now, here we go. So ma ha ha. Take a nice deep breath, hands at your side. And I'm going to give you a break in a minute just to stretch and sit down for a second, okay? So, ma. That's our starting note. Ready? 1, 2, ready, and ma ha ha ha. Okay. Ha ma. Ready? Ma. 1, 2, ready, and ma ha 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 ha. Okay, let me hear you do it. Can I hear you? 2, 3, 4. Ma.
Oh.
Go ahead. 1, 2. Take a nice deep breath and. Good. Pretty good. Ma. Ma. Ha. 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 You do it now. And ma. Good. Perfect. Perfect. Except now, make sure you drop your jaw for me. Ma. The rule is kind of if you can get 2 fingers into your mouth. So think about being able to open wide enough to have 2 fingers. Okay? All right. So here we go. Ma, 2, 3, 4.
Ah, 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 ah.
Good. No, good. Yeah, excellent. So normally what we would do is we would continue to go down as low as we can go in the lower part of our register without straining, because you can strain your voice in the lower part of your register too. People always think they only can strain if they're singing really high and pushing, but you can also strain your throat, strain your vocal cords, hurt your voice if you push too far into your lower register. Like sometimes in church choirs, they make some of the ladies sing the tenor parts, and they may not really be able to do that, and it can hurt their voices. Okay, why don't you take a seat for a minute, because you've been standing up now for almost an hour, so you can go ahead and have a seat for a second. And I want to ask you a couple of questions about singing, about your ideas about singing. So who are some of the people that you listen to? Who are some of the singers or groups that you like?
Alicia Keys. I like
Okay.
her a lot.
Okay.
And Sabrina Carpenter, Def
Okay.
Cameron.
Okay.
A lot of hip hop people.
Okay. All right. So what is it that you like about Alicia Keys? When you hear her sing, what do you really like about her?
I don't know. I like the melody of it, I guess.
All right. So you like her note choices.
Yeah, it's cool.
Do you like the sound of her voice? You like the sound of her voice?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
cool.
So essentially what you like is the way she makes you feel, right? You like the way that her music makes you feel. So the reason that we're doing, or I'm showing you some of these things now, and this is just an introduction to vocal training, right? But we do this kind of work so that when we actually have the opportunity to sing, that we're not thinking about singing, but we're feeling singing, right? And regardless of what style of music you like, whether it's hip hop, whether it's gospel, whether it's R&B, it doesn't matter what it is that you like. Pop, doesn't matter. The reason that most people like what they like is because they like the way it makes them feel. And so we have to be able to help our audiences to feel what we're singing about, right? What's your favorite Alicia Keys song?
A lot of her songs, actually.
A lot of her songs. Do you have one favorite in particular?
No.
No? So what I'm going to ask you to do for me now, because it's a small enough group of people here on the call where you don't have a huge audience, so you don't have to be nervous about that. I'd like you to sing a little bit of one of the songs that you like. Doesn't even have to be the whole song. It can be a verse of the song. It can be just the chorus of the song. I just want to be able to hear you do what you do.
Okay.
Coaching process. Yeah.
Like now? Like right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. can't really think of one on top of my head. So,
Are you on your computer right now?
mhm.
So is your phone free where you can look up the lyrics to one of your songs? The songs you like?
My phone's broken actually, so
Okay.
yeah.
All right. You know, Mary Had a Little Lamb?
Mhm.
Sing me Mary Had a Little Lamb.
All right. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, and something, something, something.
Fleece was white as snow. Yeah. Right.
Ah.
Okay. Now sing me Mary Had a Little Lamb like Alicia Keys might sing Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Imagine Alicia Keys singing Mary Had a Little Lamb.
mm, Probably something a lot better than what I can do.
Well, I want you to do your best. That's what I want you to do.
Oh. Okay. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, and no something, something.
Fleece, yeah, whose fleece was white as snow.
Please, what is that? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, good. Now, excuse me. Now I want you to sing it in a completely different way than you've ever heard the song before.
What
Because
is
we know the melody. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. We know that, right? We know that melody and that sing-songy thing. Now, imagine yourself creating a new version of Mary Had a Little Lamb.
like a new version?
Something different than what everyone's always heard.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Well, we're taking a moment to be courageous and creating. We're creating. So there's no right or wrong. Singing it in the style of one of your other favorite singers.
Okay.
Changing the rhythm of the lines. Changing the notes, the melody. You want me to give you an example?
Yes, please.
Sure. Mary had a little lamb, a little lamb, a little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, and her fleece was white as snow. It's changing things.
Um,
That's all right. Don't worry about it. We'll come back. It's just something for you to think about. Something for you to think about working on. Okay? Most singers spend a lot of time creating, inventing, playing, not being afraid to play. So part of being a vocalist or being a musician, period, but since we're talking about vocals today, we're talking about singing, not being afraid to change things and step outside of a box. Okay? When you go to school, there's a certain way things have to be done. But in the creation of art, in the creation of music, we have the right to break some of those rules and be creative, and that's okay. Because you have something to say just like everyone else has something to say. You understand what I mean? So allowing yourself to be expressive and allowing yourself to find the voice inside of you. Because I know that you're shy when it comes to singing, and you said, well, I really just kind of hum. But I believe that you have inside of you the ability to create beautiful music with your voice. And I believe that you have your own voice. And part of the work, when we start to train, when we start to practice, when we start to do ear training, when we start to do diction work, when we start to do scales, technical work, we're doing that so that we can develop those tools so that we can find our own voice. So that's really why we do the practicing, and we do that very disciplined work so that we can also enjoy the play part of things and creating and being free, because music is about freedom, right? Music is about being free and feeling free inside of us and enjoying and smiling and laughing inside. Okay? All right. So now let's do this. Let's do one last exercise. So if you could stand back up again. All right. Very good. So what was the first rule that I told you?
hands beside your
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's true. That's just a posture thing. But I said something about low notes and high notes.
Not wait to open your jaw so you don't strain your throat.
That's another technical thing that I showed you. Yes, very good. I'm glad you're remembering those things.
Low notes take slower, not slower, like
Take more air.
yes, and high notes need faster air.
Excellent. Excellent. Low notes require more air. High notes require fast moving air. The second and the only other rule that I'm going to give you today, or principle, is that we always have to think about forward movement when we're singing, right? So when you stand, I want you to put one foot slightly in front of the other. And every time that you're going to sing, I want you to kind of lean forward on that foot, okay? And every time we sing a note, as you open your mouth, I want you to think about the note moving from here, forward, okay? Always forward. So as we open our mouth, sound moves up, air moves up rather. Excuse me. Air moves up through the larynx, which is the voice box, vibrates the vocal cords. There's something called the vocal fold, which looks like a little tiny shower cap. The air goes through the shower cap or through the vocal fold. And as we open our mouth, the sound comes here. So it comes up and out and forward. So in order to help it move forward, every time you're singing a note, I want you to lean forward onto that foot that's slightly in front. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do something called long tones. Long tones are something that lots of horn players like trumpet players and saxophone players do in order to develop a nice big sound. So I use it when I train singers to develop a nice big sound. So we're going to go back to opening the mouth. This time we're going to use mo, ho, 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 ho. So ho, ho like Santa Claus, right? Mo, ho, 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 ho. But it's just going to be one long tone. So it will be inhale through the nose. And then as we sing the one long tone, we're going to lean forward on that foot. And we're going to move our sound ho to the front of the mouth and forward and out so that we're projecting the sound out. So what I want you to do is with your hand, I want you to put one of your hands about, well, stretch it out as far as you can in front of your face. So that's here, right? Like almost like right in front of your mouth. So imagine that there's a target on that, on the palm of your hand, right? There's a little target. So as you sing the note, I want you to imagine that you're aiming for that target. You're projecting the sound out and forward and outward, upward, right? So slightly up. So it's like this. Think of like when a plane takes off. Okay? So mo is the note that we're going to use. Okay? Hand out. Take a nice deep breath. And mo. Okay? Ready? And sing it for me. Go ahead. Hand out front. Sing it. Okay. Now, I couldn't quite hear you. I couldn't quite hear you because I couldn't quite hear you. Got muffled. That's why the way we're doing it here on Zoom is that I'll sing the note first, then you sing after me. Because if we both sing at the same time, sometimes it creates some distortion. Okay, and we don't want that to happen. So, mo, dropping the jaw, oh, okay, and aiming for that target so that we project forward. Go ahead. Excellent. Mo. Okay. What's happening with your posture? Yep, there we go. Are you on that foot? Are you leaning forward on that foot? Forward motion with the body is going to create forward motion with the sound. Okay, and that's really important. So, Hand out in front again. Reminding yourself, hand out in front. Mo. Good. 2 more. Mo. Make sure you drop that jaw. Mo. Right. And last one. Mo. Right. Good. Okay. So go ahead and have a seat real quick. All right. So just to review a couple of things. The 2 principles that we worked with. 1, low notes require more air, higher notes require faster moving air. And the second principle that we worked with is forward motion with the body creates forward motion with our sound. Okay. You know, sometimes when you watch music videos, old music videos, especially of really great singers, sometimes you see them doing stuff in the video and they're like leaning all the way back like this. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that where they're leaning all the way back?
Yeah.
Well, that's not really a great way to sing. And over time, when you do that type of stuff, you hurt your voice, you hurt your instrument, right? And people aren't always thinking about that when they're singing, but you have to think about it because as someone who's about to be 12, your voice is also going through some changes. And if you aren't protecting your instrument while you're going through those changes, then you can damage it. And we don't want that to happen, right? So let me know a couple of things. Could you just tell me one thing that you have learned about singing today that you didn't know before?
To open your jaw.
To drop the jaw. Okay, good. Anything else?
To step forward when you sing.
Absolutely, stepping forward. Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
No? Do you think that you're going to maybe pursue singing now and move up from humming to singing?
No.
You don't know?
It's a question for the future.
That's a question for the future. Maybe you'll be a politician with answers like that. Well, it's been a lot of fun. I know we have a few minutes left. That's why I was leaving space for questions. But if you don't have any more questions, then I just want to really thank you for being with me for the past hour and 20 minutes. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate you being willing to step out and do some things that are uncomfortable for you, because I know you're a little shy about singing, right? But I think you did a wonderful job, and I think that if you decide wherever you live to take some vocal lessons and to develop your voice, I think that you could become a wonderful singer. But that's all up to you. That's your decision.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. And thank you, Skylar, as well. I know that you were just listening in, but thank you so much for being here with us. I appreciate you. And thank you to Daryl Moss and the Afro Renaissance Association for asking me to do this class. I'll be playing a concert on Saturday. So if you all want to watch the concert, I'll be playing a concert on Saturday at 6 o'clock. with a trio, so it'll be some jazz and some soul music. So please feel free to tune in. I know it's going to be on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram as well. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Do your parents have any questions for me? Any parental questions?
Nope.
No? All right. Well, thank you all. Thank you all so much.
You're welcome.
All right. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your summer.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you soon. And let me see here. All right. So Daryl is still online. So thank you, Afro Renaissance Association, Daryl Moss, always supporting. Please continue to support the arts, support the Indie Soul Fest back in 2021, support the Afro Renaissance Association, support all of Daryl Moss's events. He's a talented artist and an asset to the community. So it's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to go through this short introduction to vocalizing with you all. And please follow me, Hashima Moja, on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and my YouTube channel. And if you're interested in studying voice, if you're interested in working with me, collaborating with me musically, you can contact me also at iamhashima.com. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, and thank you, Hashima. I'm appreciative, and we will do this again at some point. We'll bring in more people. But
Sure.
for now, we have the video of you doing your thing so much. I appreciate you. And
Thank you.
good night, everyone. All right, sir.
All right.